So, ending legs. It's a bit warm. Anyway, so we are 7 weeks out tomorrow, and today's the first day on the new setup, which is more cardio, less food, more climb, also more steps. So at the moment, what I'm doing to try to get my steps in, because I'm pretty shocking. I'm doing steps is between my work sets. I'm doing like three lengths of the track that's in flex. I think it's 20 feet long. 20 feet long? I don't know. Whatever the length of the track is. Doing 3 lengths of that, and it's roughly about 18 steps I do within that. So just good to keep moving, because often between sets I'll just sit down on my ass and fight to get my breath back. Whether I keep this up when I'm doing my work sets on hack and leg press, it's a different story. But at the moment, for calves, adductor, hamstring, that's what I'm doing. Also timing my rest periods to try to keep the pace there. So obviously the rest period for each set will vary, or each movement will vary. So for my main big lifts, it'll probably be like a 2 minute, 3 minute rest period. Then everything else is like 90 seconds. So 2 sets on the toe press, looking at leg press for calves, 2 sets of 15 to 20. I have been kind of flip-flopping between the pin-loaded leg press we have and that toe press, but I do personally prefer the toe press. It's just a bit of pin loading it and unloading it. And then on to seated calf. Calves in a prep is often one of the first things that I tend to lower my volume with, because I know I can maintain my calf muscularity, I guess you'd say, with very little volume, especially now. So it's just 4 sets on my main leg day and then 2 sets on my arms and calf day, but I may end up splitting it between the 2. So like 4, 6, 3 and 3, something like that, like 2 sets on a leg press or something like that with the legs bent, legs straight, and then 1 set on the seat calf, something like that. Just so it's even across the board. Also make this session a bit shorter. Yeah. Right, so that's the superset adductor done. Personally, I prefer just doing this as a superset. I think it was one of the things Brad had me do rather than doing it as just straight sets. He had me do the abductor to just kind of help hit the glutes from a different angle. And to be fair, the last time I was doing abductors regularly was 2017. It's probably the last time my glutes had the same shape they do now. which is a bit more being like filled in at the top. I'm sure that's your glute med. I should know that, but it is what it is. So yeah, just two sets there. I superset on my hamstring back day as well. At the end, I tend to go a bit heavier, whereas today I tend to go a bit higher reps. So 2 sets like 12 to 20, or 12 to 15, like 15 to 20. Just because it's one of the first movements I do, so it just helps get the hips and knees and everything warm. So that by the time I go to hamstrings and then onto quads, everything's just lubricated, everything's feeling good. There's no niggles, there's no pain, there's no nothing. It's just shit feels good. So 2 sets there. The second set on the adductor, sorry, I did have my feet. I didn't film that one. I did have my feet or legs extended just to get a deeper stretch on the long head of the adductor. This is probably something I'm going to start doing, just to kind of fill that gap from like the top of the thigh right down, so that my adductor starts going down the full length of my leg. Because when you see people with the great adductors, that is the difference. It's not just at the top of the thigh or in their upper quad. It goes right down. You can especially see it from the rear. It goes right down into like the back of their knee. So yeah, shit's feeling good. So now seat liquor.
I shouldn't want you, I shouldn't need you, but I'm afraid that's not up to me. Cause when I hear you sing through my speakers, it's like my mind takes a hold of me. I've tried shutting you off for some time now, but I'm still hearing your voice in my head. Oh, I wish I was more than your fan now, and that your voice came from here in my bed. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, making me bleed. You're in my and it's so sad, it just makes me cry. Feels like I know you better than others, but you don't care, you never reply. I've tried shutting you off for some time now, but I'm still hearing your voice in my head. Oh, I wish I was more than your fan now, and that your voice came from here in my bed. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones.
Right, so seat liquor was just an all Widowmaker set. Tend to aim for 15 to 20 on like the first attempt, the first round. So on that, I do go a bit lighter. And then just 5 deep breaths, rather than doing like a timed rest for doing the breaths, because it's the way I'll do a deep breath is the same way I'll always do it. So the cadence is always the same. 5 deep breaths, and then just essentially until I can't do 1 rep. So that was a 25, 4, and then like 1.5. But the whole repping across the set is 30. But in the past when I would do that, I would chase 30. So each round wouldn't be to true failure, or the reps would give a shit. So now It's really that first attempt, the 15 to 20 that I'm aiming on, and then just as many rounds as I need to get the total rep in. Hope that makes sense. I have been doing, or rather had been doing, just a standing single leg curl as my hamstring movement, but just as I'm getting deeper into prep, I'm trying to kind of like, not drop volume, but just move sets where I can, and rather than doing 2 work sets on the single leg curl, I can do just 1 big all-out set. Because it is a bit high reps, it doesn't feel as hard to recover from, and I feel it from like my knees, from my fucking ass cheeks, which is phenomenal. And then leg extensions. That's when I'm out of breath. So first quad movement. I do 3 sets on this, but the first 2 are essentially warm-ups. 20 reps. So it was 100 pound, 150 pound, and then took a break, and then did my last set of technique in the first work set, which the aims for 20, but I never actually get 20. So it's 15, and then Lucy helped me with 3 forced reps, 2 partials, and then like an ISO for as long as I can be fucked with. And I find that just that one all-out set just absolutely does me. So now onto the meat and tatties, meat and potatoes, or quads. So hack squat. I don't know if I'm going to single band it from the top or double band it from the bottom. Yet to make my mind up. And then after that we'll do leg press and then the true squat, and then done. For my leg days out, I've been putting on my quad work at the end for a long time now. I find my quads respond so easily, so I really don't need to treat them as a priority as such. Slowly warming up on hacks. The one thing I will say, especially if you train at Flex and if you follow me and you're watching this, most likely you have trained at Flex Unit or you train at the Flex Unit gym. On the Watson hack, you have no excuse for not being able to feel this, or if you get knee pain or hip pain or anything, you have no excuse in the world to not be able to do hack squats. You can adjust the foot plate and then the actual sled so you can have it bang on fucking perfect. So in the past, when I've made good runs with this particular hack, I've either not banded it or banded it from the bottom. Now that I came back to it halfway through prep, or not halfway through prep, but a third of the way through prep, I'm doing a single band from the top, and I'm using my daisy chain to do so. So the band is kicking in about a third to 2/3 of the way down, and it's just the one green band. So essentially, I'm only losing, I know it's not perfect on the science scale, but I'm essentially losing about 20 kilo at the bottom. But rather than 2 bands, it's just 20 kilo. Whereas in the past, I've put a barbell along the floor, tie a band to it, and loop it onto the peg, so then I'm gaining, pressing up into the band. I do find, for me, the perfect angle on this is anywhere between 35 to 37 degrees. I find at 40 degrees, for me to be able to still get depth, the foot plate's doesn't change from what we're having at already, but the pain I get in my hip and my knee is nice. So set 35 degrees with the daisy chain and the band. I just touched 425, so what's that, 100 a side? And it felt fucking lovely. So I'm going to touch 5 now, and then we'll go from there. So calling somewhat of an audible. Anyway, so right, hack squats. So that was 2 straight sets. It was a set. It was meant to be 10 to 15, or the 12 to 15, but I think I got 16 for 5 plates, and then I went to 6 and did 8. On that movement, I am because for years I've done hack squats, so I kind of know if I have a rep that's gonna like ground me or not. So I'm not really on that movement. I'm not really taking those like absolutely fucking all-out grinder reps purely with how many hips are feeling. One reason. Still going to failure, but if I got another rep, it would have to be like pulling the weight off me rather than me just completing the rep. Before even anyone says anything, I've been training for 10 years. I know if I've hit failure or not. Anyway, calling an audible. It's meant to be the Pilates press sitting on. So when I've been doing this, I've been using my Olympic lifting shoes so I can get better depth. But I am noticing like a weird twinge, particularly in my right quad, that happens in both sets when I'm getting closer to failure. I don't know if it's tightness or what. This prep I have been pinning my quads, and I never used to for years, so it could be that. Don't know. Anyway, so to kind of alleviate the pain, I'm going to do the hip press, the Gym Lipo hip press, which is over here behind me, over my right shoulder. So the strength curve on this is slightly different, and something I've told clients for ages to do is use a 60-40 ratio between the top and the bottom peg, because it does make a fucking drastic difference. And it's something I've never really stuck to myself, so that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to go at this weight, whether I need to go heavier or not is a different thing. And then my last set, whichever that will be, I'll rest pause it. Because in the plant I've been doing a drop, but I thought doing a drop on the hip press makes me want to cry. So I'll just rest for 40 seconds, similar to the Widowmaker I've done on the seated curl, and I'll just go again. I've kind of just played about there, a couple of light sets, just to see where my depth, my position for my feet and depth is, because the last time I was doing this, it was essentially like 11, 12 kilos heavier. So I'm actually able to get my feet a lot lower now, and thus get better depth, thus get more quads. So I think it's 200 on the machine. My best for 20 is like 230, 240, but hips. But feet were higher, so I would imagine I'm probably going to get this for like a 15 to 20. We shall see. His legs done. So that was kind of perfectly loaded with regards to the hip press. For a good while now, whenever I guess the word would be prescribe that to clients, I always tell them to load it 60% of the top peg, 40% of the bottom. And whenever I've done it myself, I've kind of guessed in my head. But being the budding scientist that I am, I actually bang on 60 on the top and then bang on 40 on the bottom, obviously 60%, not 60 kilo. And it's fucking perfect. On the back off of back and back was right on the money with 20 reps, and then my top set, which I did the rest plus with, it was bang on 12 reps with an additional 4. But every last rep felt like a last rep, which is an important thing. And then I just finished with a nice basic simple straight set on the true squat, and with that I tried to pause it somewhat in the hole for like enough for me to say the word pause in my head. I always feel like when people do like a 1, 2, 3, it will vary, but the cadence changes and it's hard to stay solid with the cadence, whereas whenever I've done pauses I always just get to the hole and be like, right, pause, and then drive. Like at the end of the day, we're bodybuilders, we're not powerlifters, we don't need to be doing 4 count pauses halfway and that type of thing. And I do that with my Olympic lift. Olympic lifting shoes is just easier than trying to get my heels in the right spot with them being elevated, and I do just find that just quad pump, quad contraction from the knee to the hip, and just feel it more. Also, I have the mobility, the ankle mobility of a fucking potato. So that's quads done. I have had to change over to Lucy's phone, which is my old phone, because my phone's on 3%, so I didn't want to risk it. Solid session. Got 20 minutes cardio to do. I'm probably going to do it on the Stairmaster just because now we're in the depths. Rather than starting with stairs, which I used to do in prep, and kind of back off, I'd rather speed up now, because it's easier to speed up at this kind of state and just make that last 20 minutes I'm doing on post-workout on the stairs. We'll see if I do the full 20 minutes. I think last time I did the stairs this prep I did manage 10 and went high push. So we shall see. Need to go have a quick look at Lucy first. As we're planning a high day tomorrow, but we shall see. Other than that, good fucking